started, guys, please remember to subscribe if you haven't and hit the notifications bell so you get a reminder every time I post a new tutorial. I start by prepping my skin, and I'm loving and using my Charlotte Lacroix Day Cream to moisturize. I can't go a day without my By Terry Baume de Rose. It's not only amazing for hydrating your lips, I also apply it on random eczema patches that I get from time to time, and I swear this stuff helps me get rid of the eczema. Next, I'm going to color correct using an orange concealer by Kryolan in the shade D30. I just use my fingers to apply this over my dark circles and any areas with discoloration. So now onto my highlight and contour routine. The first thing you'll need is a concealer about 2 shades lighter than your skin. The one I'm using is Kryolan Dermacolor in D64. It also helps to use a synthetic brush when you're applying cream concealers because they make the application so smooth. The brush I'm using is by a brand called Elysium. The light color is going on all the high points of my face that I want to bring out more, like the center of my forehead, under my eyes, down the bridge of my nose, over my cheekbones, laugh lines, and chin. For contouring, I'm using a mix of darker creams from my Cinema Secrets palette. The brush I'm using is a concealer brush from Delium Tools. The main purpose of contouring, in my opinion, is to shape, balance, and chisel out certain features. For example, if you have a higher forehead, contouring your hairline can give you the illusion of a smaller forehead. You can bring out your cheekbones by contouring the hollows of your cheeks, apply some under the lower lip if you want a nice plump pout, and say bye to chin fat by chiseling out your jawline. And you can also slim out your nose by contouring the sides and then shorten it up a bit by applying some under the tip of the nose. This is a Kryolan Dermacolor foundation in the color DFD, and it's a perfect match for my skin. I'm going to apply this color in between all the contoured and highlighted areas. I'm using a small synthetic brush for this, and I think this one's from eBay. I'm also going to take the foundation down my neck. Always make sure, guys, to apply some foundation on your ears, neck, and décolleté so that your face isn't a complete mismatch to the rest of your skin. Okay, so now that I look like a crazy comic book character, I'm going to get to the blending. I typically like to start off with the contoured areas, and I use a small synthetic brush by Real Techniques to blend out the contour. I'm going in small circular motions. You have to be careful when you're blending because you want to make sure you keep the darker shade concentrated in the area that you want to contour. You also don't want to underblend because it will leave harsh lines, and you don't want to overblend because then what the hell was the point of contour cream in the first place? So yeah, small circular motions and a light hand should do you guys good. To blend out the lighter areas, I'm using this synthetic buffing brush that came in a subscription box called Wantable. That subscription box was not my favorite, so I never did a review on them, and don't get me wrong, guys, this is a great brush, but sadly was the only thing in that box that was decent and usable for me. So yeah, any synthetic buffing brush would work. I think you could probably get one from eBay for like under 10 bucks. But anyway, back to blending. I am keeping a light hand, not going over the contoured areas too much because I don't want it to disappear under the lighter shade, just giving my skin a nice blend, and that way everything looks nice and even and it ends up looking like foundation, but there's a little bit of dimension to the skin instead of what it would look like with just one foundation color. I applied some cream blush on the apples of my cheeks, and then I'm using my RCMA No Color powder to set all the creams. First, I'm going to make sure my under eye concealer is nice and smooth, and then I add some powder to 2 powder puffs and just rub them together so both the puffs are covered in a light coat of powder, and then I just use the puffs to matte out my skin. This technique is my favorite for setting the skin because you avoid over powdering and looking too matte. You can see the difference on the side that's powdered and the side that's still a little bit oily. This method gives your skin almost an airbrushed look, and I love that. I also like to powder my eyelids, so first I use my fingers to blend out any foundation or concealer that may have creased, and then I lightly press the powder puff over the lids. I'm going to use this Lancome Duo Finish Powder in the shade 500 Suede as my powder contour. This is actually a face powder for deeper skin tones, but I love it for both contouring and bronzing because it has a warm undertone. I went over all the contoured areas with this powder using a small blush brush by Delium Tools, and a smaller eyeshadow brush for the nose. If I could only have one highlighter for the rest of my life, it would be BECCA's Champagne Pop Highlighter. It's been my go-to since it first came out on the market with the Jaclyn Hill collab. You can't go wrong with this one, guys. I've seen this on the fairest skin and the darkest skin, and somehow this works for everyone. It's so finely milled, there's no chunky, gritty glitter, and it's got a beautiful soft gold finish. Some of you guys have been asking for an updated brow routine, so here it is. I'm first going to use a brow gel. Today I'm trying out Benefit's Gimme Brow. This is just a sample from Sephora. Normally I use the Anastasia Beverly Hills one, but I just wanted to give this one a try. I think most people use brow gel last to set their brows, but I actually prefer to use it first to create the shape that I want. I brush all the hair in the direction that I want it to stay in, and once the gel dries a little, I go in with a brow pencil. Typically, I use MAC Spiked or Anastasia Beverly Hills, but today I'm using one by Glow Minerals, and I have to say I really like this one as well. I keep a very light hand with the pencil and go in straight lines to create the illusion of real hair. It's good to leave some gaps so that your brows still look natural. I think the worst is when your entire brow looks like it's all one color as if it was painted on with a Sharpie. I love this flat brush by Delium Tools. I'm using it to apply some concealer right under my brows, following its shape. A brush like this is helpful because it keeps the lines nice and straight, and this technique will really help chisel out your brows. It'll make your brow bone stand out more. And then afterwards, I used a small synthetic brush to blend in all the concealer. So to set the concealer, I'm going to use a matte vanilla colored shadow by MAC called Brule and a fluffy blending brush. And then for my transition color, I'm using MAC Saddle. I like to use a powder puff to pull on my skin a bit, which helps me apply the transition color exactly where I need it. Again, I'm keeping a very light hand and adding more as needed. I think you guys are going to love how easy this eye look is going to be. I'm also applying the same transition color on my lower lid, but I'm going in heavier with the application because I want the color to stand out. A small eyeshadow brush or a pencil brush will work great for this. Oh my gosh, guys, this Tom Ford cream and powder duo in Naked Bronze is amazing. Yes, it's pricey, but I had to buy it after I saw Makeup by Lilith use it in one of her tutorials. This is like the easiest glam makeup, and it's perfect for when you're in a rush. All I did was apply the cream all over my lids, taking it up to the crease and just blending it out a bit. I mean, honestly, it looks so good even without adding the shadow over it, but for this look, I am going to apply the golden broad shadow. So all you do is use your finger, like your ring finger, to press on the powder over the cream, and it's literally that easy. Now I'm using a mix of MAC Saddle and Embark eyeshadows to deepen my crease a bit, and after that I blended out the crease once again with a fluffy shadow brush. Okay, now I'm tracing a thin line of the Embark eyeshadow under my lower lashes, and then I'm filling in my waterline using a black eye pencil by Jordana Cosmetics. For lashes, I used Christina Lashes in 747M, and I finished the eyes with a few coats of this NARS Audacious Mascara in Black Moon. I'm so happy with the way the eyes turn out, and as always, I'll link all the items I used in the description box below. So almost any lip color can work with gold shadow. I'm first lining my lips with MAC's Mahogany Lip Pencil, and then I applied Tarte's Lip Paint in Birthday Suit, but it was a bit darker than I wanted, so I went over my lips with Lorax Pirates of the Caribbean Lipstick and Gloss Duo in the shade Risk It All. Of course, I can't forget blush. I used one by Tarte in the shade Party and added some more of the BECCA Champagne Pop highlighter because clearly I can't get enough. I hope you guys like this tutorial. I mean, you got to see all the details of my skin, foundation, contouring techniques, brows, and a bunch of new products all in one tutorial. For more detailed tutorials like this, please hit like and subscribe if you haven't already done so. Also hit that notifications bell so you know when I post a new look, and please follow at BeautyByBinny on Instagram. Love you all. Take care. Mwah.